Hello everybody! So with 2025 coming to an end, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at every LEGO Star Wars set released in 2025. Every actual set, so no like gifts with purchases, and also not the polybags, but any set, any play scale, UCS, whatever. So first up on the list here we have the May the 4th promo for the Kamino Battle Pack. And guys, I think this is an A tier set. The only reason why I don't think it's an S tier set is because it wasn't available for everyone to get. You had to get it from the May 4th exclusive, so it made it a little bit harder to get. But I think the build is fine. It is what it is. It's also a free gift with purchase. The minifigures are really cool. I like the clone cadets. I thought they did a good job. And again, the build is all right. It's not great. It's not perfect, but for what you're wanting from, a Kamino training facility, especially with the free gift with purchase, I think this is an excellent set. The only reason it is not an S is because you had to order it on May the 4th. Next up, we have the Gingerbread AT-AT, and this is an S tier set, which kind of surprised me. When this was first announced, I wasn't very excited for this at all. But as I got it and built it, man, I actually really liked it. It's, not the best scale for a minifigure, even though it is, has space for minifigures to sit around and play in it. It's not the best scale because, like, on the head here, your guy can't sit down and put the top over it or whatever. But that's besides the point. I think the AT-AT actually looks really, really good. It's a fun little gimmick. I like the gingerbread Darth Vader. And, I just really like this set all around. So I think this is an S tier set for 2025. Next up, we have the Night Trooper Battle Pack. And I actually just built this and got this for myself. And to be quite frank, not very impressed with it. I think the pictures actually overhype the set. Actually building this little gunship thing, it doesn't look very good. I'm not impressed by it at all. I did like how they did the fins up here, but that's about it. The minifigures are cool. I do like those quite a bit, but that and combined with the price, and I think price is a huge deal in Star Wars for 2025 because LEGO Star Wars has always been more expensive than the average LEGO set, but this year was pretty absurd, and this is one of the sets that hit that price point, although not as bad as some of the others. This is now a $22, $23 set. You can get it on sale now pretty much anywhere, but that is, for what you get, is absolutely ridiculous and should not be that price at all. This is a $15 set max, and a lot of other of these battle packs have actually been a lot better value, I think, than what we got here. But that being said, it could be worse. I do like the minifigures, so that's why it's a C and not any lower. Next up, we have the play scale Jango Fett Starship. And this is another S tier set. This was really cool. I was quite pleased when I was building this. It looks good. It's quite small for the scale of what you're getting here, but it's not bad. And I think the designers actually capture the angles and the details of the Slave One pretty good. It's the same scale as the Boba Fett's version from a couple years ago. And I think that this is a pretty good one. The only difference is that this is a $70 set and the last one was $50, so that sucks. However, this almost immediately went on sale to $55, so I can justify a $5 price hike much better than $20 because, unless you're getting this on lego.com, you can get this on sale pretty much anywhere. So this one, I think the price doesn't hurt it because I really liked it, and the minifigures are good. The Jango Fett's great, the Boba Fett's great, the Lama Su is amazing. I love getting those obscure characters. You even get a nice little docking pad here or whatever to actually stand your, and also it stands up your starship here. So I thought this was a great set. Next up, we have a little bit more of a controversial set. We have the Separatist MTT. Now this I don't actually have in hand. I haven't gotten this one yet. However, I think I'm going to give it a B. I don't think this is as bad as some of the other sets on this list. I think this looks really good. Again, I don't have it in hand, so I'm just going off of pictures. I think it looks good. They get the angles right. Now, obviously, it is downscaled quite a bit, even from the last one. And that one was also downscaled quite a bit from the 2007 MTT. This is it's all right. You know, I like the colors. I like the minifigures we get with it. We finally get a Commander Blythe. We get an updated Ayla Secura, and the return of the Commando droids is pretty awesome. And you actually are able to dispatch battle droids, which is cool. I was afraid that they wouldn't be able to do that, but they actually do, which is, you know, great. And then you also get a little stab on the side here, and you know, a little side build is always welcome. Now, the worst set, I think, of 2025, you know, pretty sure, I think, we'll see how the rest of the video goes. I believe this is the absolute worst set of 2025. This is the Clone Turbo Tank. Now, this is absolutely abhorrent for the price per piece ratio, for the feel of what you get. This is absolutely the worst offender of the 2025 price hikes. Now, this is $160 at retail. And this is also $160 at retail. Or maybe this is $150, I'm blanking a little hard here. This might be, but anyway, this is $160, and it is ridiculous how horrible the size is for what you're getting. The Clone Turbo Tank doesn't look great. Like, at least the MTT looks good. This doesn't even look very good, in my opinion. Again, the scale is much smaller from even the last Clone Turbo Tank, which was much smaller than what we've gotten in the past. It's breakable. It's not put together very well. The only saving grace of this set is the minifigures, Commander Bakara, the Galactic Marines, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and that's not enough to bump it up. The minifigures are cool, but it does nothing to save this from an absolute failure of a set. So that's why the Clone Turbo Tank is an F tier set. Next up, we have the Hot Rod Snowspeeder. This is from the Freemaker Adventure set, and I haven't seen the part 2 of the, or not Freemakers, the Rebuild the Galaxy. I haven't seen the part 2 of the Rebuild the Galaxy, so I'm not sure how this fits in, but I like this a lot. I like the design of the Snowspeeder. I like the characters, this Solidus, the Duros, Sith Jedi, I'm not quite sure what he is. He's a bad guy, it looks like. He looks really cool. I think this is a B tier set. Actually, you know what? No, I think it's an A. This is a $45. Actually, this is a $54 set retail. It's a B tier. If this is a $45 set, this would probably be S tier, which you can get that on sale for about that much right now. But $55 is pretty expensive, not great. However, the new canopy looks really cool. The colors of it, the flame design. You also get the Stab side build and another speeder side build. The minifigures are cool. Sig and Dev here both look like generic Star Wars characters, which I think is actually a plus in this instance. Great custom fodder. Put them in the back of mocks and custom builds and whatnot. But they also just look good. And the Solidus, again, is really cool minifigure. So if it wasn't hampered by the price, I think I would bump it up, maybe even the 2 pegs here. But the price definitely hurts this set quite a bit and is a B tier. That being said, I still like this set quite a bit. Next up, we have the Juniors Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. And I've never been a huge fan of Juniors, although I can appreciate what they do to like get a younger audience into Lego. However, I think this is a poor example of it. I think this is a D tier set. Obviously the junior sets have always been much more expensive for the price to piece ratio because they use larger pieces usually to help, you know, kids build a little bit easier. And I think this one doesn't really do that. This is a very expensive set for what you get, and there's not really anything to justify it this time. Like these are just pretty standard pieces you get in almost every Lego set nowadays. The minifigures also aren't great. You get a Grogu and Mandalorian, which you can get so much cheaper and so many other sets. And then you do get this R5, which is cool. But I'm not personally a fan of this, and if I was a kid getting this set too, I would also be like, this kind of sucks, you know. So I don't think this is a great set. I think it's better than an F tier though, because, you know, again, it's aimed at a younger audience, right? And the minifigures are fine for, you know, a younger audience, but again, you can get these guys pretty much anywhere else. And, you know, I think in talking about it more, I think this is actually an F tier set. I don't know what would bring it up above a D. I think this is an F tier set, guys. Next up we have the Andor U-Wing, and this is a very, very good set, I think. I think this is an A tier set. This one suffers from being downscaled horribly, horribly bad from the past U-Wing from 2016. This is much, much smaller, and this is supposed to be a troop transport, right? So it being downscaled so badly kind of sucks, but it looks good. They do make it look very, very good at a smaller scale. You can fold the wings back. The design and shaping of the U-Wing looks great, and that's why I think it's an A tier. I also don't think it's horribly priced for what you get. Like, obviously it's not great, but it's not the worst. And the minifigures are cool. You get K2SO, finally a return of K2SO. You get Cassian Andor, Dedra Meero, and a ISB agent, and all those minifigures are really cool. I like them quite a bit. So this is an A tier set. Next up we have Ahsoka's Interceptor. And I struggled with this one, where to place this when I was thinking through this. I think I'm going to give it an A tier. And might be a little hypocritical because the price for this is ridiculous. $45 for Ahsoka's Interceptor is absolutely ridiculous. That being said, you can get this on sale and it looks really, really good. This is probably the best Interceptor design we've ever gotten. And the minifigures are really, really cool. I like the updated Clone Wars style for Ahsoka. I like the updated Anakin in the Clone Wars style. Like, they're Clone Wars outfits, but they look realistic instead of like the Clone Wars stylized faces. And you get R7, which is always, you know, a great addition to get Ahsoka's droid, because the previous R7 was super, super expensive. So yeah, I think this is an A tier set, just barely above a B tier, because I like this set a lot, just, you know, as a fan of the design of it. Next up we have the updated ARC 170, and guys, this is an S tier set. This is phenomenal. Obviously, again, super downscaled compared to the last version, but this one I think looks really, really good, and I think actually benefits from being downscaled compared to some of the others. They get the angles and detailing much better on this one. My one gripe is I think the turrets should be a little bit longer. But that was my one big complaint, because otherwise you can fit all 3 minifigures in it just fine. And you get the droid in it, which is just fine. You get 2 name clones, Jag and Oddball, and a generic clone pilot. I like the look of this set. I love the ARC 170 in general. This is an S tier set for me. Next up we have Plo Koon's Microfighter, and I'm not a huge fan of this set. I think this is a D tier. The only saving grace is Plo Koon himself, because otherwise I'm not a fan of the Microfighter series. That's just my personal opinion. But the one thing I did like about the Microfighters is that they're super cheap. Like, you could, you know, go into the store, pick up a Microfighter for a little gift for, you know, if you had an allowance, you get that. And then they increase the price of the Microfighters, making it, you know, pricing people out just a little bit more, especially for that younger audience who doesn't have a lot of money. I don't like the design of this very much at all. I think this is a failed Microfighter design, especially with the big old turrets on it. And I hate that they only gave you the head of Plo Koon's astromech droid and not the full droid. That is such a cheap cop-out, and I'm super, super disappointed for that. I don't think this is quite an F tier set, because Plo Koon is really cool, and it is a cheaper set, so I can give it a little bit more leniency compared to some of the other offenders. Next up we have Darth Maul's mech, and this is another gimmick I'm not super fond of. I don't really like the mech sets all that much, but I'll give it a C tier set. I did just recently build this myself, and you know, it was fine for what it was. I don't think Star Wars needs these mech sets. I think they're kind of cool in the superhero line or whatnot, but Star Wars doesn't need the mech sets. The lightsabers were pretty cool on the Darth Maul, and I like the printed chest piece here. So that was cool that they gave us printed pieces and not stickers. So, and I think that the price for this actually is pretty fair for what you get for the mech set. So I think this is a C tier. It's not my personal cup of tea, but I can appreciate it for what it is. Next up, we have the Star Core Battle Pack. And man, this one is hard for me because I actually really like this set. I really like this set. The minifigures are cool. The ATRT it's all right for what we've been getting for the ATRTs. This one is one of the better ones in my opinion. and I love the Dwarf Spider Droid. This is the best Dwarf Spider Droid I think LEGO has ever put out. But that price, this one is ridiculous. A $30 set in 2024 is now a $45 set in 2025. Like, it is directly comparable, and nothing can explain that price increase. So what would probably be an A tier set goes down to a D tier simply because of that price. And it's not quite an F tier like the Clone Turbo Tank, because the set is actually pretty good. I do like the set, but that $45, absolutely ridiculous, and I cannot justify that at any rate. Next up, we have the V19 Torrent, and this is really cool. This is a set that I think a lot of people had been wanting an update for. We haven't gotten this since like 2008, 2009 from the Clone Wars style V19. We get an updated Clone Wars Obi-Wan, Ventress, and an accurate clone pilot. This is an A tier set. I think the price for this one is not great, which is why it's maybe not an S tier set, but everything else is awesome in this. The flip down that you can do for the wings, the minifigures, the design of this, I really like the V19. So that does it for pretty much all the play scale style sets. You get minifigures and whatnot targeted towards, a young to mid audience range. Next up, we have display style sets. So next we have the mid-scale ships, and I'm not a huge fan of these personally. I don't collect very many display sets. That's just, again, my personal cup of tea. But I really do like these sets from afar. I can appreciate these looking at them in the display case, looking at them, in my friend's house. And I like the Acclimator. I think that's an S tier set. I think Home 1 is just a little bit worse. I don't think they capture the look and feel of Home 1 quite as well as the Acclimator, but I do like that they include the Nebulon B medical frigate there. So, excuse me, I think that is, it's not quite an S tier, but I do like this one a lot. Next is Kylo Ren shuttle, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why. I just don't like Kylo Ren ship very well. That being said, I think the designers did a fine job capturing the look of the ship. So, yeah, I think it's a C tier. It's not quite B tier in my opinion, but compared to like the Acclimator and Home 1, it is the worst of the three. We also got some new helmet sets this year, which is really cool. Again, these are ones that I can admire from afar. I do like these ones a lot, and I think actually the best one of the year, quite surprisingly, is Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren is the best helmet that they gave us. It's pretty, they capture the shaping and everything really well, and even if I'm not a huge fan of like the Kylo Ren shuttle, I like his mask. Next up, I think, is Jango Fett's helmet, and then the AT-AT helmet. I don't think that the AT-AT Trooper looks very good, because obviously he has hoses attached to him in the movies, and the mouthpiece and the eyes are kind of a little wonky without that extra detail. And I'm not sure about the gray style. I always imagine them more in a white. However, I think they actually are gray. It's just, my personal brain here. Jango Fett looks great. Not much else to say about this. It's a pretty plain design. And LEGO has done other Mandalorians in the past, which have been really well. So not a whole lot else to say about Jango Fett other than it looks good. We got 3 UCS style sets this year. We got the AT-ST, and I don't know where to put this. C tier? I don't really care about this set at all. Don't have a whole lot to say about it other than it's kind of boring to me. I think the old UCS AT-ST was a lot cooler, just in my personal opinion. Even if the updated designs and pieces make it look more accurate, I think I'm more fond of the previous one myself. Now, actually, S tier is the Jango Fett's Slave 1. Just like the Playscale version, I think this is an amazing ship. This is an amazing build. The designers capture everything perfectly. The minifigures are great. Finally a new Jango Fett. We got this one before the Playscale version, so we desperately needed a new Jango Fett, and we got young Boba Fett. I don't think the hairpiece on Boba Fett, that's like maybe my one complaint. as I don't really like the hairpiece on the young Boba Fett, but very minor. I think this is the best UCS set that they have released in a really long time. I love this set, even if I don't actually personally own this one, but this is one, again, that I can admire from afar. Now, the last UCS set, the Death Star, F tier. Like, this sucks. The very first $1,000 Lego set. Now, let me just say that again. The first $1,000 Lego set. That is insane that anyone can drop that much money on what is essentially a toy. Like, obviously, this is, you know, a collector's item and a display piece, but it's a toy at the end of the day. Lego is a toy company. Anyone that can spend $1,000 should be getting something better than this. This is not the Death Star. This is the Death Slice. I don't like how they went with this at all, and I think a lot of people agree with that. I'm not the first one to say that, and I am absolutely not going to be the last one. I don't like the little vignettes. They seem to overcrowd everything. They try to pack as many scenes as they possibly could, and it just, at the end of the day, feels overcrowded. Doesn't look very good. The small scale ships, I think, are out of place in this. Like, they try to make this a playset, but it's at $1,000. This is a display piece. No one's going to be playing with this. So that set suffers horribly from that design. Now, the one thing is good about this are the minifigures. The minifigures look pretty freaking phenomenal, and you get a lot of cool characters in this set, but they're, you know, locked behind a $1,000 paywall. So I hate this set. I think the Clone Turbo Tank is the second worst. The Death Star, or the Death Slice, is absolutely the worst set that we have gotten. Now, we also got a few buildable characters, and I have never really been a huge fan of these outside of like the droid style buildable characters. So Chopper, I think, is an A tier. Grogu, you know, I'm kind of so over Grogu, guys. I don't really like him anymore. He's overdone. He looks fine. I think this is probably the worst, you know, buildable Grogu we've ever gotten. But I think the pram here is like the lure of the set. The pram looks pretty good. This little baby carriage here, I think that looks fine. Grogu himself doesn't look super good in my opinion. The Stab Speeder, you know, B tier. I think it's a set that no one asked for and no one really wants. I could be wrong. I haven't seen anyone ever really talk about this set. It looks fine, you know, it's not terrible. It's just, why did we get this? I don't know. The best one, though, I think we actually got was Wicket. I think that's maybe an S tier set. I do really like, he looks a little creepy, but I think they, you know, capture the fur and his little hood there very well, and kind of goes against my belief that I only really like the, you know, droids in this kind of scale. I do like Wicket a lot more. I think he's the best one that we've gotten, and plus the Wicket minifigure is done really, really well. Like, he even has like feet printing, so he gets his little freaking teddy bear toes. That's hilarious. I love it. The worst one, though, is definitely K2SO. I'm tempted at D tier. I don't think it looks very good, especially the head there. It's kind of lanky. I don't know, not a whole lot else to say about it. Next up, we have the Star Wars logo, and this set could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. I'll give it a C. It's fine. It looks good. Like, this is the Star Wars logo. They nailed that absolutely downright. So it's good. But when you compare it to like the Marvel logo that has Easter eggs in it, it's got a bunch of minifigures to display with it. This is much worse in comparison. And I hate comparing between themes because, you know, it's not usually one-to-one, but Marvel and Star Wars are a little bit closer together because they're both very popular Disney IPs. And the Star Wars set kind of sucks in comparison. You don't get any minifigures to display with it. Would have been cool to get at least one. Would have been cool to hide Easter eggs behind some of the letters. You do get one. You get the Tantive 4 being chased by the Star Destroyer up in like the S, I think. Would have been a lot cooler to get a lot more Easter eggs with it, and I think they absolutely could have pulled that off, especially for the price, because it is pretty expensive for what you get. But that about wraps it up for my thoughts on all the LEGO Star Wars 2025 sets. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my listing? Are some higher than they should be? Are some lower than they should be? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you all later. Like, comment, subscribe to join the Emperor's Legion, and see you all next time.